Alright, so let's go ahead. There we go, we got it back. Yeah, so we're in a blocked cutscene, so it won't really let us show what's going on, so I guess I'm just kind of running off to the end here, or where is my goal? End of the road. Yeah, there's no goal anymore. So we're just kind of running around at the speed of sound here. Another black feather. Hey Sephiroth, how's it going, buddy? So Sephiroth appears, good old sword in hand, all that fun stuff. Barrett's calling him an asshole. Red 13's glaring. Ooh, Sephiroth is wrong. Those who look with clouded eyes see nothing but shadows. Oh, okay. Well, I mean, a lot about him is definitely wrong, Aerith, but okay. All born are bound to her. Should this world be unmade, so too shall her children. The world won't end today, but you, Cloud says, drawing his sword. You will. Oh, are we gonna get a fight with Sephiroth in here? Is this the end? We see the Shinra HQ still covered in the whispers. And Sephiroth is asking us to listen as they all come rushing out at us in like almost like a mushroom cloud like formation. Destiny comes. Oh, Zack appears. We drag our asses all this way, and this is the welcome we get. Must be old Midgar. And there's a bunch of Shinra troops just pulling up guns and swords. Price of freedom is steep, says Zack, as we see him drawing the Buster Sword. Embrace your dreams, says Zack. And whatever happens, protect your honor as a soul holder. Come and get it, he says. Cloud and Aerith are having crazy weird dreams. I'm waiting, Cloud, says Sephiroth. And there's like a weird localized like thunderstorm shadowy thing going on. And Sephiroth walks into it and seemingly disappears. Aerith grabs Cloud's hand as he's about to walk into it and tells him that this is the point of no return. Some music is welling up. And Aerith casts some spell that just makes the storm go away. Destiny's crossroads, she says. Then why did you stop me? Cloud asks. I'm not really sure, Aerith admits. What will we find on the other side? Tifa asks. Because now the storm is like, instead of shadowy, it's like white and snowy. Freedom, Aerith says. Boundless, terrifying freedom. Like a great, never-ending sky. What you heard just now were the voices of the planet. Those born into this world, who lived and who died, who returned, they're howling in pain. Because of him, Sephiroth, Cloud asks. Their words, they don't reach him, Aerith says. All these moments and memories, precious and fleeting, they're like rain rolling off his back. And when they're gone, he won't cry or shout or anything. Zoom in on everyone's faces. He'd tell you that he only cares about the planet, that he'd do everything in his power to protect and preserve it. But this isn't the way it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be. There's no greater threat to the planet than him. Sephiroth has to be stopped. He has to be, and that's why I'm asking you to help me. I know that together we can do this. Again, zoom in on everybody's faces. But if we do, Aerith says. She turns back to the storm thing. We'll be changing more than fate itself. If we succeed, if we win, we'll be changing ourselves. Which doesn't seem to be more than fate, but okay. I guess maybe that's why I hesitated. Oh, and the storm is erupting a bit more. Here we go. You said it yourself. He has to be stopped, Cloud says. And frankly, I've heard enough howling for a lifetime. So I think this is going to be like the end fight. Which again is going to be very weird that I'm trying to do this with this blocked cutscene. Oh, Destiny's Crossroads. When you cross the barrier of whispers. Kept using the link to the broken stream. Oh, okay. That's alright. Yeah, in here now. Yeah, I just had to... I don't know what happened, but internet connection went down for a second, it said, so I had to just make a new video. So it'll be like... It'll probably just be this video, just because I only got like 12 seconds into the other one, but yeah. When you cross the barrier of whispers, strange and terrible things may be waiting on the other side. Before making the leap, make sure that your party is well rested and well stocked with equipment and materia at the vending machine back on the expressway will have everything you need. I think we've got everything we need here. Yeah, Cloud's full HP, full MP. We've got the weapon we want to be using. Yeah, I think for the most part we're good. Yeah, it's basically that this is just gonna have to be an audiobook for now, unfortunately. But yeah, so we're gonna go into this crazy storm-looking thing. Ready, Aerith asks, and yeah, we're ready. Yeah, I guess never tried to challenge Destiny, Tifa says. This could well be her last line of defense. It won't be easy, says Red 13. Yeah, it's weird. It's a weird little situation we're in. Like I said, eventually I'm gonna get a capture card, so that way, I can stream games like this, and even though they have blocked scenes, you guys will still be seeing what's on my screen, so it won't really take any of that stuff away from you guys, and you guys would still be seeing this. B, it also lets me stream my Switch games, so that'll be cool. Yeah, not sure when I'm gonna get that. It was supposed to be a birthday thing, but other stuff came up that needed to be bought with birthday money, so we'll see. There is the last one to enter. Wouldn't be the first time I spit in Destiny's eye, he says. Whether you can see the seams or you can't, doesn't change that she's always trying to have it her way. He makes a fist. Daddy's coming home real soon, honey. And then he walks into the storm. It's interesting because I thought the end of the game was going to be the last video where it was a lot of here you're on this highway, like kind of get out of town. Came out on the other side of the storm. We see like a almost like a toll set up for the end of Midgar there, and it's quiet. We're just kind of looking around for any sign of Sephiroth, but we don't see him. Don't know about you, but looks normal to me, Barrett says. A storm is crackling, and Aerith says over there. And big old thunderstorm of darkness and shadows, and all those whisper ghost things are coming down. That's fun. That's fun. It's making almost like a hurricane tornado thing coming along the highway towards us. Okay, that ain't right, Barrett says. Chelsea's birthday was great the other day. We just had a couple people over at the house. Not too big because of everything still going on in the world, so we didn't have too many people over. A couple friends from Chelsea's work and some people from our Sunday homebrew D&D game. Yeah, just had a couple drinks, chatted, played some Overcooked. It was fun. Chelsea's still kind of sleeping it off just a little bit. Thunderstorm has lifted Cloud away from the rest of the group, and he is spinning through the air. Yeah, it was a pretty nice time. We would have liked to have had more people and probably gone out somewhere, but with everything going on, it just wasn't possible. Yeah, definitely has people yelling at each other. You know, cook this thing needs to go here, washing dishes, all that kind of stuff. So it's a nice, weird team building, but also yelling at each other kind of game. The shadows are going into like some sort of black hole-ish looking thing with thunderbolts in it. Yeah, board game night would be excellent. Oh, and all the whispers became this big, dark, demony looking thing that shoots lightning out of its half face. That's pretty gross. Oh, it just stretched and screamed and shot out some lightning out of its mouth, so that's cool. And it's making a dark hole in its hand. That's cool. That's cool. Very shocking indeed. Oh, one of its arms aren't complete, so I guess it's got like a black hole for more of an elbow. Oh no, it is complete. It was just at a weird angle that it looked like its arm wasn't fully created yet. And there's random cement blocks that Cloud is standing on and jumping off of and cutting down with his sword. Leaping towards the thing. And now I'm playing, okay. Yeah, let's run towards this guy. Oh, I cannot run. I can do special commands. I can slide down a cement part of the highway here. Jumping over things, running up stuff that is flying. That's cool. Jumping off platform to platform, very Final Fantasy. Oh, Barrett and Tifa are surrounded by some of the whispers. I cut the whispers with my sword, and they're fine now. Barrett is surprised that I'm alive. Cloud asked if he was happy to see us, and Barrett said wouldn't put it that way. Tifa's being positive and saying that we can beat them. I have no idea if we're supposed to or what's going on at all, really. Oh, and now there's mini demon guys. So the demon guy buddy is like our size as opposed to ginormous and skyscraper sized. And we're gonna cut them down to size. We're gonna cast haste so that way we can use our abilities more often. They're kind of strong, not super strong. They've got some high-level magic, though. They've got a lot of health. Yeah, they've got a lot of health, though, so that's kind of annoying. Let's see. Cloud, use triple slash. And Cloud, use triple slash. Oh, and they shoot laser things. And the big one has an ability called Correction. And then the little ones disappear. I have started watching Naruto, yeah. Me and Chelsea are about, I want to say like 15-ish episodes in. Somewhere around there. So that's pretty fun. It's one of those animes that I always wanted to watch as a kid, and then just never got around to it. Any favorite characters yet? I mean, as no surprise to anyone, I like Sasuke. Edgy boy extraordinaire. And I like Kokashi, I think is his name. My buddy Chris will kill me. But the teacher. He seems pretty cool. I like, there's two, like, abilities that I really like in a lot of movies and shows and stuff like that. And that is being able to copy something, like being able to just replicate something super easily. And the other one being, yeah, all those edgelords. And the other one being able to, like, create things. So, like, if you've ever seen the anime Fate Zero or Fate Stay Night, one of the main characters in that, Emiya, has the ability to, like, if he touches an object, he can make a replica of that object. So, like, if he sees a super cool sword, he can just make that sword. So that's cool. Cloud versus Sabuza, that's the other, like, big sword guide. My immediate reaction to seeing him was, fuck you, Cloud Strife motherfucker. I would probably say Cloud. Cloud has fought people who are very quick and ninja-esque himself. Like Reno is very fast and very ninja-like, of just, I'm behind you now, that kind of thing. So I'd say Edge to Cloud Strife based on what I know. But that's also, where do you determine the difference between magic and, like, Jitsu? Because if you're saying that they're different enough, then Sabuza doesn't know, probably wouldn't be used to magic or knowing how to handle magic. Whereas if you say they're very much the same thing or similar, then, you know, Sabuza isn't going to be as surprised by that. Oh, definitely sneaky, but, like, especially if we're talking about later Final Fantasy, like, Cloud has dealt with Yuffie for how long? So Cloud is used to sneaky type characters. Like, from so far what I know, where there's only, like, 5 ninja groups, it seems like Sabuza's kind of like, okay, I know these 5 different things, and that's about it. Whereas Cloud has seen so many different people with so many different techniques. Oh, in-game we just saw a weird flashback to... We saw an image of Red 13 just running along, and when Barrett asked what that was, Red 13 said, "A glimpse of tomorrow if we fail today." We've also come across Aerith now that we took care of one of the little demon things. Cloud probably has the advantage for sure. I'd also say protagonist versus villain. You know, Cloud's probably got the advantage there. But in a fair fight, I think it still slightly goes to Cloud, just where Cloud, like, they both have training, so they've both got that going for them, but also Cloud has seen, so far from what I've seen of the series, and I'm sure that could change later on, Cloud has seen a wide variety of villains. You gotta get to the Chunin exams. My buddy Chris said that, like, that's, like, pretty close to the end of the post-war, or like during one of the wars or something like that. So that'll be interesting. We just need Barrett to cast a big old cure on Cloud. There we go, full health. But yeah, no, I'm excited because, again, it was one of those animes that I wanted to get into as a kid, but just never got to really see in a continuous fashion of, like, oh, okay, cool, I can just go back and watch episodes in the order that I'm supposed to be watching them in, as opposed to just, I'm watching random episodes and not really knowing what's going on. The next arc after Sabusa, it's a good one. Okay, then Chelsea has told me she's excited for that, because she was saying how excited she was for the next arc, so good to know. Okay. There's really a lot going on in the game, so it's hard to explain. Won't say what is going on, though. Alright, that's good, that's good. But yeah, so I'm fighting two of the demon things, and every time I hurt those, it's hurting, like, the big demon thing. But also, when I stagger the little demons, something that's dealing damage to the big demon is dealing, like, a lot more damage. But I can't really see what's going on up there. Oh, big demon's using correction again, which is the big fuck you laser beam. Okay, it's every time we take care of the little demons, we get thrown between these two levels where I'm fighting like 4 demons kind of thing. So it just gives those demons time to recharge. That's kind of cool. Oh, we beat another demon, so the big guy's not happy with that. Let's have Barrett unload Maximum Fury. Big demon's probably at 3/4 health so far. But hurting the little guys while they're both staggered hurts the big guy a whole lot more, so that's cool. Damn, big guy's up to like half health now. It's also exciting because this was one of Chelsea's favorite animes growing up, so it's cool to see something that she really, really liked and being like, okay, I can totally see why she liked that and stuff like that based on her personality. And now Tifa's having an image of a big fuck you meteorite coming towards Earth. So that's cool. Who's her favorite character? I don't know. I don't know. I'll have to ask. I know it's not Sakura, I know the like memes of like Sakura is useless, and I was asking her about it, and she was like, yeah, pretty much. She's like no one's favorite character, so that's cool. I am excited to see some of the characters that I just know are in the series from having, like, just because it is in the social zeitgeist. So like I'm excited to see like the Sand Guy, and I think there's like a guy who's like he looks like super average and not ninja-ish, but apparently he's like the best character in the whole thing. So I'm excited to see him. Oh, the three demons I was fighting just fused into a bigger demon that looks like a dragon, so that's cool. Sakura was a mistake as the main female character, even the author agrees. That's harsh. Like, what'd she do wrong? I feel it's just maybe the author just didn't know how to write the character, but like Chelsea has said that there are other impressive female characters, so like it's very odd. Okay, yeah, we'll summon Ifrit. Two plane didn't add anything to the story. Yeah, she just seems to be a we needed a love interest for characters, so here she is kind of thing. Which is sad. I wish they had done like I never like hearing that a character is boring. I like if people are like, "Oh, I didn't like that character" or something like that. That's fine. But for like an entire group to agree that like a character is just boring and like especially with media, like that's your one thing you're trying to do is like hey, here's this character. I'm trying to entertain you. So if your character isn't entertaining, that's like you failed kind of thing. Like that's your one thing that you're trying to do. There's other female characters that are more interesting later on. Yeah, Chelsea said that, so I'm excited to see those. I killed the demon dragon thing that I was trying to kind of make her look bad in comparison. Yeah, and that sucks because that's like your main character. Like, if like one of the side female characters was like less interesting, then it's okay because hey, we have Sakura. She's our main stay kind of thing. But when you don't have that, it just kind of brings everything down. Let's blow things up. Let's switch back to Cloud. Let's go with triple slash. We need Aerith to cast a big ol' cure on Cloud. But yeah, it's just I'm fine with characters being bad or not a favorite or things like that. But again, it's just your main job is to be entertaining. So if you're not doing that for anybody, you're not doing your main thing. Like as much as people like to say like, oh, video games are supposed to have like meaning and stuff like that, and they definitely can. But again, that comes second. It's a game or a movie or a show should be entertaining first. So yeah, the gang is just getting more visions of the future with each of these demon things that they kill. So like Cloud had one of fighting Sephiroth, and then Cloud just had one of Aerith crying and praying. So who knows what that means. I'm very excited because there's so many things that they've like tweaked a little bit about this game or things that they've done differently or what have you, that it's very interesting to see if certain choices will still get made, especially since the creators have said like we don't feel locked into any choices that happened in the original Final Fantasy VII. We feel like it is the same characters and it is the same locale, and very similar events will be happening, but we don't feel locked into anything. So there's a big thing that happens at some point in the Final Fantasy VII game that just is a very permanent choice for a character. And I'm very excited to see if they stick with it or if they don't do it or what happens. And we beat the big old demon boy. Yeah, it was very cool to see, because it's very cool to see what the big animes of certain times are. Because I remember when I was a kid, the big animes were like Pokemon, Digimon, and Dragon Ball Z were like the big ones at the time. That like if you liked anime, it was that and Sailor Moon. Oh, they're in a mindscape of some sort, and it's like a clear white room, and Aerith and Cloud are there, and suddenly Sephiroth just said, "I'm waiting, Cloud." Oh, okay, everyone's there, and now it's turning red and black. "What the hell is this?" said Barrett. And then it exploded into red, and everything is exploding and getting killed. And then there's strings of blackness. And then all the blackness and fire disappeared. There's just rubble, and Sephiroth is glowing purple. And then Sephiroth is just here. Looking down at the group. Raises his hand, and a huge-ass building just raises. And he points at Cloud in the group, and it just collides like right in front of them, sending them all flying off in different directions. A train collides into things. Cloud is cutting through them all. Cloud does the superhero pose. 3-point landing. Looks back up at Sephiroth. And the music starts. And am I fighting Sephiroth? It looks like I'm fighting. Yeah, Cloud says, "Let's finish this," and dashes towards Sephiroth. Swords collide. And I'm in the driver's seat. Okay, and Sephiroth can just explode himself sometimes. That's cool. Let's hit him with a assess. He has no weaknesses. He's resistant to most magic. He's immune to all status effects. Yeah, cool. And he's got 35,000 health. All right. Sounds like getting intense over here. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's Sephiroth, so you know how it is. It's a very thematic fight. It's a very important fight for Cloud. Like, just staggering him enters a little, like, cutscene thing. Oh, man. Let's hit him with Braver. Dragon Ball Z, I mean, we're huge too, although it didn't really explode here until Naruto era. Naruto, One Piece, and Bleach were considered the big three of anime for a long while. Yeah, I'd still say, like, in a lot of ways they are the big three. Like, I would say Sailor Moon and Dragon Ball were big for the people who were already into anime. Like, if you were into anime, those were kind of the ones you were watching. Naruto, Bleach, and One Piece were the ones that, if you weren't watching anime, it kind of got your attention. Like, you at least knew of them. Oh, Sephiroth just burned my limit. Yay. I started to use my limit and entered a cutscene. And now I've got Tifa on my side. So me and Tifa on Sephiroth. That's cool. Let's hit him with a counter stance. Bleach really took a... Yeah, I heard Bleach just got too fillery was what I heard. Was just too much just filler nonsense that didn't need to be there. Okay, staggered Sephiroth again. I do like the look of this fight, and again, just like anytime I stagger him, it starts a little animation of us kicking his ass for a bit. But then it still lets you do something like after the cutscene, so in case you had a specific attack planned, you can still do that. Yeah, I watched a little bit of Bleach. I like a lot of the aesthetic of it, but it was never one that I stuck with. Sephiroth's using magic to pin me to the ground, or pin me and Tifa to the ground, and had the sword up to our throats. And suddenly, bullets and Barrett's here. Chelsea has offered to skip over some of the filler for me for Naruto, but and I was talking about this last night, I'm one of those people where even if I know, like, so if I'm watching, say, Dragon Ball Z, where, like, I know a lot of that series pretty well off, and I know, like, oh, hey, it's the next 20 episodes of this are just filler, I still need to watch it just because I'll feel like I'm missing something, even if I know I'm really not. So I don't know what we'll do on that end of things. Try 80 episodes. Yeah, I mean, that's fair. I don't know. I might watch, like, some of it and then just be like, oh, okay, yeah, when can I skip over this stuff kind of thing. Also where, like, again, it is a series with a lot of episodes like Dragon Ball Z. It might be, for, like, maybe my first time around, it might be better just to be like, okay, I'll skip this, and then maybe if I'm really into it, try and go back through the filler. I'll pretty much leave it up to Chelsea and be like, hey, what do you think is the best way to watch this? That one section of Naruto was referred to as filler hell by the fans. Yeah, I mean, if it's 80 episodes of just filler, I can totally see that. Man, it's a good thing I'm playing on easy, because Sephiroth is kind of kicking my ass a little bit, but then I just pop over to Barret and full heal Cloud, so... Thankfully I have triple slash so I can just track Sephiroth that way. Oh, but now he summoned a thing, eh? He summoned like a little icicle to hurt me. Not a fan. Alright. Tifa, you summon Ifrit for me. Alright, Cloud, double time as soon as we get an ATB bar. There we go, and haste. Now we staggered him again. Perfect. Switch over to Barret and Radiant Plume. Hey Sephiroth, would you mind not interrupting Barret? Even though it was too close to the manga, so they had almost 2 years to fill their episodes. I was watching episode by episode at that time. It was... the animation quality really takes a nosedive during those years too. So, ooh, see, now that sucks, because at least if it still looks as pretty as it does, then you can be like, alright, yeah, this sucks, but it's still pretty animation. But if it's just, oh, this also looks awful and is not telling me a story, that sucks. Because, like, at least with Dragon Ball Z during the filler stuff, it still looks good. Because it's Dragon Ball Z and it's Toei. Or Toriyama. So, like, it still looks pretty. But if, like, the Garlic Jr. arc also looked awful, then I'd be like, yeah, this really just sucks. Yeah, because, like, even that, like, again, then when it's, like, when it's giving you nothing, it's just, again, it's just not entertaining anymore, which, again, goes to the minimum media should be. And, oh, is Ifrit's gonna Hellfire right on Sephiroth at, like, 2 HP? What? What do you mean he's still alive? What do you mean he's still alive? You know what? Eat thunder. There we go. Beat him with a lightning spell. And now the whispers are coming out of Sephiroth. And Aerith is burning them. And Red 13's here. Sephiroth's still standing. Aerith's giving us a little speech about how we can change everything and make everything right. And Sephiroth is showing more whispers at us. And Aerith is using Thundara to shock them all out of the way. Everyone else is fighting them as Cloud dashes towards Sephiroth. God, the animation in this is beautiful. And Cloud cuts through Sephiroth, which changes into a whisper at the last moment. And then a bunch of whispers explode. Yeah, it sounds like a pretty intense session that's going on, so that I'm excited to see what happens next session and get the recap of what happened last session, because it sounds pretty crazy. Because, yeah, I just got, like, a text last night being like, get ready to roll up a new character, so that's something. Oh, Sephiroth's there and grabs my hand and says, careful there. That which lies ahead does not yet exist. Our world will become a part of it one day, but I will not end. And we're looking up at like some Milky Way looking thing. Nor will I have you end. So he's not trying to kill us yet. This is, Cloud asks. At the edge of creation. Cloud, lend me your strength. Let us defy destiny together. So, oh, so Keisha has to roll up a new character, but Zello isn't dead. Did Zello must have got, like, captured or something like that? Never, Cloud says. Now we both have swords drawn. Zooming in on us. This is gonna be like a reaction command type thing. Nope, we're just both slashing at each other. Dodging out of the way. Slashing again. Dodging out of the way. Throwing swords. Damn! Not yet, Sephiroth says. Knocking us back. Dashing at us, slicing again. Knocking our sword away. And Sephiroth disappears, leaving a black feather. Rufus Shinra looks out over at the helicopter pad. Heidegger says, "Mr. Vice President." "Mr. President," says Sang. Rufus just says that's right, walks with Sang. All the chairmen appear. Rufus Shinra kind of just smirks to himself as Shinra scientists are looking about over the purpley goop that was left about after Sephiroth took the Unova, or Genova. Hojo's chuckling to himself, and then maniacally laughing, as Hojo does. We see Zack having over an empty battlefield of all those Shinra soldiers from earlier, blood and scars all over his face. And then he says, "Wait, was that all of them?" Zack stumbles forward, bracing against the Buster Sword. And he says, "Hey, Cloud, you see that?" And then there's an explosion, and he kind of falls over. Zack looks up and sees that that explosion has darkness and light and smoke. And then it just kind of like pixelates into dust. And Midgar is there. It's more of a okay, more of a surrogate character war. Gotcha. The ethereal plane was taken away. Interesting. Interesting. We're seeing more people in the slums trying to rebuild. Bunch of kids running by. People taking the sign off of 7th Heaven. We're trying to like repair it, I guess. And then this sprinkly, dusty stuff is raining over Midgar now. Oh, so the Zack stuff was happening now, I guess. Okay, okay. We see the daycare outside, like nearby Aerith's house. We see Biggs in the bed, getting nursed back together. I think it's Biggs. That's gotta be Biggs, right? Yeah, that's Biggs. Marlene is watering some flowers. Elmira is calling for her. Marlene says, Daddy? She must see Barrett somewhere? Can't be Biggs. Barrett is reaching out from where he's at and calling for Marlene. And he says he'll come back. So what now? Tifa asks. Aerith just shakes her head. Cloud looks at one of the black feathers and says Sephiroth, crushing the feather and it turns to dust. As long as he's still out there, I thought you beat him, Barrett says. Cloud shakes his head. We can, Aerith says. We will. Count me in, Tifa says. If it's to be a hunt, you could use a nose like mine, says Red 13. I'm in too, Barrett shouts. Bastard wants to destroy the whole planet, doesn't he? An enemy of hers is an enemy of Avalanche. Credit roll. I'm expecting credit roll. It's gotta be, like, soon. It starts to rain. Some steel guitar. Zack is carrying Cloud over his shoulder. Almost there, Cloud. We're almost there. And he's walking by Cloud and Aerith in like a white scape thing. And Aerith just holds her hands out and feels the rain. I miss it. The steel sky. Oh yeah, they would have never had rain. Or like artificially generated rain at the best. And yeah, the unknown journey will continue, so we're getting the credit roll now. So we're all done Final Fantasy VII. The Remake, Part 1. Wow, what a game. What a game. Nomura, you did it again, you crazy bastard. Wow. Yeah. So feel free to throw any questions for me. I always do like a rating and thoughts and things like that. What an improvement. I definitely recommend playing it sometime, Logan. It was so good, and like the animation is beautiful in it. Just crazy. Yeah, a beautiful game, and they filled it up so much, and they really didn't have to, cause it's interesting what they did, cause they could have just literally just remade Final Fantasy VII, and it would have printed money because it's Final Fantasy VII. But like they added so much and they gave so much more context to things and fleshed out characters so much and everything like that. It was amazing. And all the side quests kind of thing, because like the original Final Fantasy VII, it had some side stuff. Like it had like Vincent's is technically side stuff and all that kind of stuff, but like this just gave you so many side missions. Like exiting Midgar, like I've said, is usually about 4 hours. Like I'd say 4 to 5 hours on like a regular playthrough of Final Fantasy VII. And here we are, like episode 29 or something like that. And I do a little bit, and I've been doing a little bit more than an hour recently. So like I'd say easily 30 plus hours, and that's just to get out of Midgar. Like, that is insane how much they've added into this game, and it doesn't feel like, oh, here's just side stuff for the sake of side stuff. Like, it's interesting side stuff that makes sense. Like, you're given time to be like, hey, right now you're supposed to be doing side stuff. Um, so good, so good. Um, yeah, and like again, they haven't felt locked into the original story. Like, such an interesting thing. Um, voice actors. Again, there were a couple of them that took a little bit of. They had to grow on me a little bit. Like, I didn't like Cloud's voice actor at the very beginning. Um, oh, Joe DiMaggio does Heidegger. Nice. I wouldn't have caught that. Um, but yeah, but overall, everyone did a fairly good job with their characters. They played the characters without making them caricatures of themselves, which was nice. Um, yeah, no one I can immediately think like, hey, I would have changed them, except debatably Cloud and just having him keep his original voice actor. Oh, Yuri Lowenthal did Johnny. That's cool. Um, like I debatably would have let Cloud keep his. They seem to sound to Advent Children. Um, and it's only because I'm a huge fan of him. I did notice the difference in Cloud's voice actor from this and Advent Children, but it felt like someone trying to do Steve Burton's voice. Um, I only know his voice so well because he used to voice a character in General Hospital, and my mom loved General Hospital. Like, watched basically every episode every day since like I was born, pretty much, or before I was born even. But other than that, like, yeah, no, I think everybody did pretty damn good. Additional voice actors, anyone I recognize? Um, oh, Matthew Mercer did some background stuff. Nice. I didn't see any other names I recognize, but I'm sure they're in there. Um, the music is great. Updated music. While the music still felt similar to stuff that fit in 7, it wasn't just, oh, here's just an updated track. Like, they did some new music. There's the song when you're going between the 6th and the 6th slum, 6th district slums and Wall Market Street. That is very, like, kind of pixely. And I loved it. No, not this one. But yeah, it just felt very pixely and like very much like 7 without being, oh, again, here's just an updated track from 7. Always playing those NPCs, that Mac guy. Yeah, like again, even the opening sequence of just setting up Midgar and what it is for you, like, so good. Um, Barrett being ridiculously over the top was great. Um, they tastefully handled the Cloud having to cross-dress section without it being like a big, oh, what a joke kind of thing. But like, there's a couple of moments of Cloud being like, oh, we're not talking about this. Um, yeah. Again, like, just how much they fleshed out Jesse and Biggs and Wedge was crazy. Um, but that also means that if Biggs is okay, maybe Jesse's okay. Maybe I get my girl back. Um, yeah, no, it so good. And like, interesting sections for Cloud with each of the characters, like how much time like Cloud just spends with Aerith and just with Tifa and just with Barrett is very interesting, and you get to see the personalities like play off of each other. There was a great section where you got to have Barrett and Tifa kind of work together, and you get to see them like as a married couple kind of thing. Like, that's crazy. Um, Marlene and Betty were adorable. Um, Amazing, amazing. Such a good remake. But yeah, like I think it's crazy that they fleshed all this out, and it makes it feel worth them making it into a multi-part thing as opposed to just putting out the exact same game, just updated graphics and a new battle system later. Um, no, amazing, amazing how much they fit into this game. Um, and there's still more. There's still stuff that I missed. That I was just like, I'm not just gonna spend 3 episodes just searching for this thing, kind of thing, just to, you know. Um, but yeah, no, that's amazing. Stuff with Jesse's dad is new. Like all that stuff is crazy. Oh man, I'm running into Rosh. Uh, and that battle, that was awesome. Um, yeah. Out of 10, oh man, out of 10, I would probably give it around an 8.59 kind of area. Um, and it's because it doesn't feel like this game has an ending. Like, and I mean that could just be like an old school way of thinking about games, but for me, it's like if you have a game like it should be the full game. Like I should have a full story. You can definitely do a sequel or something like that, but again, that's not what this is. This isn't the end of that story. Like you can definitely tell that there is a continuation to the story, and the story will continue onward. Um, I'm excited to see what they do with like what level will be coming in at the next one. Like, will it be a cool now start at level 1 kind of thing? Um, will you get to carry over weapons that you've had, anything like that? Like, that's gonna be interesting to see what they do for that. Where it's again, it's not like a sequel to a game where you can say like, oh, and well now you're starting like over again, like most sequels do of like, oh, you just somehow lost all your stuff and all of your experience from the last game start again. Like this is like, are they gonna tone down all the enemies that we would be usually coming into at this point to make sense for a level 1 character to fight against, or what's going on with that? Very interesting to see, but again, it's one of those things where it doesn't feel like this game ended, so I don't know if I can give it like a great score on that. Um, like I think what I'll have to do is if I continue the channel that long, is I would have to then review part 2 and say 3 if they break it into 3 parts, or 4 because they did 4 discs for the original game. So like play all those parts, rate all of them individually, and then rate them together as one continuous story. Um, yeah, it's just very interesting. Like there so many more memorable characters, and so many more characters that weren't memorable from playing the first game are memorable now, kind of thing. Um, just because they got that extra fleshing out. Aerith in the dress. Um, Cloud doing the dance. Um, Don Corneo. The guards. Man, such a good game. Such a good game. Such a good game. But yeah, I'm gonna go with like an 8.5 kind of thing. Um, Fantastic game, great fight system or combat system. Great story, great extras, all that kind of stuff. It was missing an ending. Um, it was missing an ending. It was missing just, I don't know, just something felt a little off with it. Like just like and I mean it's not necessarily a bad thing, but like there was definitely that, oh man, I want more because I know this story keeps going and I know it continues onward, um, which is never like a bad thing in a game to have, but it is knowing that there is gonna be more, like, because then it just leaves you with like that bad taste of like, right, I've got to pay for more kind of thing. Um, I would say some of the under the city stuff felt a little okay. Just go through and like it didn't feel super puzzly for the area that it was. It felt more okay. Go to the end of this hall, fight this thing. Now go to the end of this hall, fight this thing. Like some of the under city sections, I found were a little lacking. Um, I would have liked a bit more. Oh, what's the puzzle here, kind of thing. Um, I did like the little like Kate Sith reference there. Um, I don't know if it was intended, but I did like the not. I don't think I would call it a reference, but just kind of like the. Oh, this feels like Yuffie. Is it Yuffie? It feels like Yuffie. Oh, it's not Yuffie. That's cool. Um, Moment when you were in the slums doing side quests for with Aerith. Um, Puzzles are a difficult thing to build, and even more difficult thing to give purpose to. Absolutely, absolutely, they are. Like, yeah, puzzles are definitely one of the things I struggle with the most creating as a dungeon master for D&D, just because I'm always like, I don't know how to make interesting ones that haven't already been done a million and one times. How do I make this feel different, and how do I make it feel like it has a purpose? Um, and like, I hate certain games where they just put puzzles in for the sake of having puzzles. Like it needs to make sense that this thing would actually have a puzzle. Like the lock mechanics and things like that. The hitting the switches at the same time that they had in this game, that felt very purposeful, would make sense, would be like a safety precaution, things like that. Um, some of the controls got a little bit weird. Like there was the claw mechanic where I had to like pick up different like train trolleys and place them in spots. But if you didn't place them in exactly the right spot, it would count as like it would count it as being put like 10 meters away or something like that. That was a little like, oh, that puts a bad taste in my mouth. Um, I don't like that Red 13 was never technically a party member. Red 13 was always technically a guest to the party, so you could never control or play as Red 13. Was a little bit of a bummer. Um, have to have why someone would make a puzzle that can potentially be solved and then break up your own security. Exactly, but like, and that's why like I liked the pressing it at the same time here. When that was part of the puzzle, because it was, oh, we don't want some like just one rogue Shinra like Avalanche agent to do this, so they have to be like, um, it's the same thing with like we see it all the time with in movies for the nukes that the president has of like two people have to have the key, turn them at the same time, and click the button at the same time. Like it's just a safety precaution so that way one person doesn't go crazy with power. Just have a locked door or lots of guns instead or something like that. But again, that I can get because, so say one Shinra agent turns out to be a traitor and working for Avalanche, it's okay, cool. They have the key. They're just in here and they can do everything now, or something like that. And you can't necessarily guard every single door all the time and have people doing what you need them to be doing. It's just numbers. But saying, oh, hey, this thing only activates if two people can do this thing at the same time, or in some cases, three people doing this thing at the same time, it makes a bit more sense of like, okay, we're not as afraid of one Shinra agent going rogue because they can't do anything. You would need to have, say, 3 or 4 people going rogue at the same time, which is going to be a little bit harder. So it totally makes sense. Um, but again, that's just me. And like the Hojo stuff, like those puzzles made sense because Hojo is showing you, hey, I'm a crazy dude who wants to just have you like test this thing arbitrarily and kind of like go off and test these monsters for me so I can get more data. I think puzzles can be done right. It's often It's just often you end up wondering why the villain keeps throwing these crazy arbitrary puzzles in. Absolutely, absolutely. Like I said, it can make sense for like people who that makes sense for. So like Hojo having that for like, I just need battle data. Here, go to this thing and fight this thing for me. That totally makes sense. But there are certain things where it's just like, you wouldn't have this puzzle set up. Like, there's no reason for this to be a puzzle, and that's such a hard balance of making it make sense. Thank you to all original Final Fantasy VII staff and fans, and all Square Enix fans. Aw. Ooh, trophy. Destiny's Crossroads. And now I've unlocked chapter selection. Cool, cool, cool. Resume. Okay, cool. And now we can see images again. So yeah. Perfect. We exited the block scene. So yeah, we've unlocked a new difficulty. We can chapter select. Probably be the game that gets away with that best, as the whole story is based on puzzle. Yeah, exactly. The whole game is based on like, we want to see how far you can get through this and that sort of thing. So it totally makes sense for that game. Record of your adventure can be viewed. That's cool. Other new features: bonus EXP and AP will now earn twice as much EXP and 3 times as much AP. New combat simulator. New combat simulator has become accessible from Hojo's lab. Test it out. Select chapter 13 from chapter select. Skipping the bike minigame. The bike minigame can now be skipped from the pause menu. Well, apparently for one of the trophies, I need to do really good at that, so that way Jesse will be like, wow, wow, you're super impressive. So that's a thing. Oh, I still need to master some more materia. But yeah, this is definitely a game that I'm going to go back to. It's definitely a game I'm going to play through again on my own, and I can take a lot more time with it. Just a fantastic, beautiful game. Again, a couple of things that I probably would have tweaked a little bit, like for me personally, being able to play as the different characters was fantastic. So being able to play as Barrett for a bit, Tifa for a bit, Aerith for a bit, were all great. So it kind of sucks that I never got to play as Red 13, even though they were introduced as like you are going to have me. I'm going to like come into the party and join as a member and things like that. Like, I will be part of this group. So it's weird that you never got to play as them. Um, but yeah, there's the screen. There's the people. Level 37. Yeah. Did they all level up? Most of them leveled up. That's cool. Like, I'm sure there's more weapons and stuff I can get. Yeah, I would hope that he's like a part of your party and you can play as him right away in the second part game thing. We gotta save that right quick just so I have that. But yeah, I'll probably go back through, play on a harder difficulty, mess around, find all the weapons, make sure I've got everybody's weapons, max level them, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, that was Final Fantasy VII. So tomorrow the plan will be streaming either just myself or me and Chelsea playing Fall Guys again, because that was a lot of fun. Chelsea loved playing that and being on stream for that, so that was cool. Then I'll be doing the first DLC for Spider-Man. And then once I'm done that, the plan is to stream Detroit Become Human. And I'm gonna try to do a lawful evil playthrough, or definitely an evil playthrough. Because when I was talking to people, a lot of them said that they felt they couldn't go through with the yeah, Spidey's gonna return. That's gonna be awesome. A lot of people felt like they couldn't go through with like being mean and Detroit Become Human. So I want to do something. I want to get all that evilness out there and see what some of that darker stuff can do. I haven't played Detroit Become Human. I did see a bit of a playthrough, so I saw a bit of the game, but not really where paths start colliding and coinciding, things like that. So that'll be cool. I know that happens at some point, but it'll be interesting to see that. But yeah. Is Cyberpunk out now? That's a good question. Let me take a quick peek on the Googles. I don't think it is. No, apparently CG Project Red, as of an hour ago, according to GameSpot, says they aren't 100% happy with the game yet. Last we've heard is November 2020. So November is when that's supposed to be popping up. That would be a good one too. That'd be good. Get some Keanu Reeves up in the channel. But yeah, I think Detroit Become Human is going to be the next one after the first Spidey DLC. So we'll see how things go. But yeah, so solid 8.5 for Final Fantasy VII Part 1, and definitely a little bit of room for improvement, but definitely feel like I'm not giving it a fair rating, and that I can't give it a fair rating until all the parts are out and the whole story is completed. But yeah, thanks for popping in, Logan. It was great chatting with you. I know this episode was super weird where you couldn't really see the screen for most of it, so it's very much a podcast style audio game hybrid thing. But thanks for hanging it out with me and sticking it out, because I know that was a weird one for sure. But yeah, see you tomorrow for something a little more light and fun, and then we're going to be popping back to the Spideyverse. Thank you, and hopefully just chat with my bud. Exactly, it was just good old chat. And feel free to stop by tonight for some more of The Last of Us Part 2. Cheers. See ya.